welcome to another episode of Intuitive Creators Spotlight. I am Stella, your host, and in this playlist, I invite amazing intuitive creators who embrace their gifts, they are following their paths, and now are on a mission to help other people connect with themselves, with who they are, and their mission too. Today, I have here with me the amazing Sabrina. Her story is of a continual, amazing transformation. Her path is filled with unknown, courage, and incredible heart. Hi, Sabrina. Welcome to this interview.
Hi, Stella. How are you doing today?
I'm very good and I'm very excited about this interview because I know you have so much to share. And especially, yes, in words and stories, but also energetically, because you have this energy of sharing
Thank
the love with the world.
That's my huge goal. Exactly.
So, I know you've been through so much, especially recently, and we talked about transformation and how incredible that is. And so I want to ask you, what does transformation mean to you in this current season of your life?
Maybe if I start in order, let's say more with a change first before we start like with the word transformation. I mean, we are all aware like change is something daily. I mean, you wake up in the morning and there is the sun, and then in the evening you go to sleep and there is already the moon. So changes are constantly. Change is the only constant that there is. And it seems so logical, but sometimes in life it's so hard to follow those changes because day and night, that's something we're used to. But when it comes to changes that are maybe not planned, that are maybe, let's say, connected to struggle, to pain, to frustration. In my case, it is hard to follow the change, and it's hard to follow, like accept as well the changes. And so transformation for me is like the process within that you go with the flow. So you try to take changes as an opportunity to grow, to learn some lessons that are preparing you maybe for something that is coming afterwards. And you can never really get to a next level or to a next point in life, to a next chapter, like you just said, if you're not transforming yourself. It always, everything starts with yourself. So once you are aware that, okay, now it's blocking in your life, you're like, okay, you have this plateau or somewhere you're like stagnant. And if you want to grow or if you want to move forward in your life, so you have to transform. That's, I mean, it's a butterfly effect. It's you have to go from the caterpillar to the butterfly, and transformation is somehow something very natural that we are all doing. We were talking about like becoming from a baby to a toddler to young personality, young adult, and transformation is part of life. Winter season, summer season, but sometimes it's easier because we are used to it and we can accept it, and sometimes it's harder. And then I think when you start taking transformation, like you're really aware of transformation and you take it as an opportunity, as I said, it can really change your life because you are starting to use transformation as a tool.
Mm.
And consciousness, not unconsciousness, really consciousness. I think that's a huge thing, a huge level. And for me, after my accident and my surgeries, I started to be aware, like, that I did something in my life for a long time unconsciously. And with that accident, like, it was my awakening, basically. Like, oh, okay, I did that for so long unconsciously, and now life is asking me to do that consciously and to start working with that tool of transformation. So this is where I am since 4 years
Mm.
now. Yes,
Wow. So would you say that transformation is a product or a consequence of change?
I would say that. Yeah, yeah.
Mm. And that's incredible because changes happen all the time. we can choose a change, but even if we don't choose a change, it happens anyway. And I know that for you, it happened in form of physical health. You mentioned you've been through surgeries. Um, how did that change your life and your career as well?
Thank you. Um, Let me say that I was like my business or my services, the thing that I love to do was very on a physical level. So it was dancing, as we know each other from this part. And I'm still a dancer, but this surgery radically changed the way I am able to move. So in some ways, it started limiting my movement that I did for so long and like I was used to. So it felt like a little bit of prison. And when you are not able anymore to move your body, how like the way you used to move your body, and my body was always the like let's say the tool for my expression. So I lost my tool of expression. So I was like there, okay, what shall I do now? And the doctors at that time, they told me that probably I will not be able to dance again. So I said, okay, my dream was always to have this huge dance school, this academy to, when I get older, like to teach new dance teachers, like to bring up new talents and everything. And like I was, okay, that dream is dead, full stop. So, and that's where for me transformation happens because that was a situation I was not able to choose. It happened. And you can always, and that's the choice within, you can choose how you handle it. Because I was not able to choose the situation happened, but I was able to choose how I deal with it.
Mm.
So I had the choice between being frustrated, what I was, and mostly at the beginning, I was sad, I was desperate, I was lost, I was in pain. But one day I said, okay, I can live the rest of my life like in this frustration and like always crying because my dream is not going to work, or I take the responsibility that I have and I choose the other way, which is dealing with it. It
Mm.
is maybe not always the easiest part. And so I started dealing with that. And through my rehab, and I think there happened actually this awakening. Through my rehab, I learned that even if my situation or my issue was on a physical level, I was forced to work on other levels as well. So when I went to therapy, there were moments where I did some exercises and they were not working anymore. So I was not moving forward on a physical level. And I understood by myself that, okay, we have two other levels, which is the soul level and which is the mindset level. So I learned through the rehab to say, okay, maybe on a physical level, I'm not able to move forward because I have to change something in my mindset.
Mm.
Maybe there is a fear that is like struggling or like let's say blocking me to move forward on a physical level, so I have to deal with the whatever feeling is on there. That can be mindset, that can be soul. So why I want to get back on my feet? Because I have a purpose, because I want to realize some things in my life, because I have big dreams, because I would like to make the world a little bit a better place. So if I stay here and I work only on a physical level, I will not grow anymore.
Mm.
So those are like three wheels. I like to see them like wheels in a Swiss watch, and they're together like that. So you always have to turn one of those wheels in order for you to move forward and to grow. And that's what I understood. And that was the point that I said, okay, I want to still work. I still want to dance. I really absolutely want to get back on that dance floor. However, I can manage that. And so I started working holistically,
Mm.
those three levels. And this is where human design as well came across my path. And I learned so much things, so many tools, so many books I've read, because the main goal was really to get back on the dance floor and to show those doctors that they were wrong. And
Mm.
was the start of my transformation.
Oh, I love that. So you had the intention to show to those doctors that they were wrong.
Yeah.
What did you discover as you were going through that process for yourself?
Exactly, exactly. And it was not, honestly, it was not only the doctors, but the doctors were like, let's say, the pain point.
Yeah.
It was like the pushing mechanism to say, hey, you guys, you're wrong. I will do that. And that was something that I did a lot in my life. I was constantly going my way, even if people around me said no, or even if people around me didn't believe in me, or people were not supporting me, or friends went away because they said, nah, this will not work. So this, let's say, this fighter mentality, I had that for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about that before. I was a fighter until that moment, and then I realized that like against that thing is not the way. It's going with it. So it happened in my life. It happened. This situation happened, and a lot of people, they always say it happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
I learned it happened for you. I
Mm.
wouldn't be where I am today, and I wouldn't have met all those beautiful person, those beautiful tools. I wouldn't have learned all these things that I've learned if I wouldn't have had that accident. So this holistic concept wouldn't even exist because I would still work only on that physical level because that's what I knew until then.
Mm.
So even if the situation, the accident, everything was very challenging, but it happened for me, not to me. And that's the choice I made. I said, okay, even if I have no clue, dear universe, dear God, however you would like to know it, name it, um, it happened for me, even if I don't know yet why. But I will trust you that this is for me, and I will learn on the way why it happened to me.
Mm.
And that was the transformation I did. And so I through this I learned you have to work on those three levels always through all of your life. Sometimes you are at a certain point in your life that maybe the physical pain or the physical level is important. You need to express a feeling. Maybe you have to dance it out. But then sometimes you have a limiting belief, which is like maybe stopping you from doing, let's say, a show because you're afraid. So you have to work on your mindset. And so it's always those three levels together. And when I understood that, I said, okay, I think that's my way, that's my path. And transformation is, I think it's a life theme for me, honestly.
It is.
It's like,
and and it is, and you know what, to me this is very inspiring because it takes courage to embrace that. And as we talked about, and I shared with you, that I believe that you are a warrior, and you know, and you told me that many people express that to you, but I believe that you become a warrior as you connect, yes, with that energy of the fighter, because you have been, as I said, a fighter, but then you chose to go deeper and deeper and connect with your intuition and a deeper wisdom and your soul and your heart and your mind, everything. And that creates this strong vibe of like, I know who I am, and I know that I'm going to pick myself up and continue to move forward in life. And there was something interesting you mentioned, that you know, when the surgeries happened, you felt like you lost that tool for expression. But isn't this interesting that our intuition and all of these guidance that we receive also lives in a huge way in our own body? And in order for us to recognize this guidance, we have to be connected with our body. We have to do that. There is no other choice. Yes, we have all of these other bodies, energetic bodies, astral bodies, and all of that. But there is also the physical body that a lot of the times we want to say, oh yeah, I'm just gonna sleep 2 hours a night, which I have done, and I know how that feels like. And then
Yeah.
one day you wake up and you're thinking, what am I doing? Let me just honor this beautiful body and give
Mhm.
it the nourishment and the sleep and the rest that it deserves and needs. So I really want to ask you, what was one or more lessons that stayed with you from that journey of doing a lot of dance? Because I know you traveled the world and you worked with so many amazing people. What was the biggest thing that you have learned for yourself during that phase of your life?
Before the accident, you mean?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Um, I think I lived somehow maybe more the artist part of my life, this expression, because it was really an expression. And I did that my whole life, like very unconscious. I just, the moment that music plays, still today, it's like I see movement. I even have like, I see how you could move possibly to that music, and my body starts moving on its own. So it's like it was very, always very intuitive. Um, but I never really realized that this was a talent. It was just I just did that because it brought me joy actually. And dance for me until today is the one and only thing. And I think that was the hardest part in all that history. But I learned through dance to, let's say, put out everything what was blocking me. So when I felt heavy, when I felt sad, when I felt frustrated, I danced. And the funny thing about dance is like you can give out everything which you don't want anymore, all the feelings, all the struggles. You can like forget about all your problems for a certain time. And at the same time, this tool gave me energy. So it was like let's say a cleaning machine. So the intake was like a bad vibe, and the outtake was like, okay, wow, good vibes. So it was a transformation within dance. Transformation happens within dance for me as well. So I did that all my life. It was my medicine. When I didn't feel good, I danced, and afterwards I felt better. So when you lose that tool to handle difficult things, sad things, and you lose the tool, you have to find a new one. So that was part of it. And dance actually, let's say also on a physical level, I learned mostly two things. First of all, was really what I always say is like that, never give up. You cannot be a good dancer when you give up very fast, because sometimes you have to learn a choreography, or you have to you would like to learn a new step, and maybe this step is maybe not 100% made for your body or for your physique, but you want to learn that step, so you have to give it a extra effort. Then you learn a lot about self-love. Why? You have, if you want to be a successful dancer, you have to be visible, which means you have to give yourself out to the people, which means you have to be on social media, you have to present yourself, which is connected to courage, um, which needs courage. And actually, this leads a little bit to those three values I once very intuitively took for my dance classes, which was passion, because that's the first thing. If you like to dance, you like to dance. If you don't like it, you don't like it. So that's the first thing. But that's not enough. You need that courage to stand up again, to learn new things, to go to a class where you don't know nobody. I have been in New York. My first time in New York, that was horrible. I went to that Broadway dance class and I was like, okay. So even for a professional dancer dancing every day, you always need courage more and more to shoot that video, to do that show or whatever. And the last one is a little bit that never give up, like this discipline, because
Mm,
you have to train your body. You cannot just say, oh, okay, now I will not train for 3 weeks, and then I will be at the same level, physical level, like 3 weeks before.
mm,
That's not working. And as a dancer, you dancing is good as sports tool, but you need to be on a physical level. Really, you need to be like, let's say you have to do fitness, you have to do stretching, you have to do balancing. So it's everything connected. And so I really learned that dance is so much more than just move your body. I
mm.
was able to learn lessons for life through dance, just by dancing and trying out things with dance. And that's what I try to teach to my students.
This is really beautiful. I love all the things that you mentioned. And every time I saw one of your videos on social media or how you worked with kids and helping them and teaching them, I was I was always seeing this passion and courage and really a lot of fire and wanting to make things better. And I know you mentioned now that when you lose one tool, you have to eventually replace it with something else.
Mhm.
Tell us, what did you replace your tool with? Or maybe you're continuing to replace it with now.
Actually, I really tried to replace it by very artistic things that I did. I actually went like back to my childhood. So,
Mm,
like, okay, what I liked beside dance when I was a kid. And I tried out like painting. I was going back to singing because I was singing before. I actually sung and dance always. And one day you have to choose, so I choose dance. But I went back singing and trying to find an artistic replacement that I didn't find. So nothing could replace that dance stuff. So I said, okay, what was the feeling that I have when I dance, and how can I maybe replace the feeling? So it was more about how it makes me feel than what I do.
mm,
And I felt joy. I felt joy. I felt so much connected when I dance with myself, that I forget everything around myself. So I looked like, okay, I have to find something that gives me the same feeling. So what I did was I was talking to my students. I talked with my students and I said, hey, why you came to class to me? Why you
mm,
choose this class and not another one? So through those feedbacks, I saw that most of them, yes, they were coming because of dance, but the lessons that they learned, because I asked them, what did you learn here? The lessons that they learned were like, we are a family, not give up, or try again, or have more courage, more self-love, more whatever. So it was not dance that they actually mentioned. It was everything around. So I understood that dance was just a format for me to do the work that I actually did. I was coaching.
yeah.
I understood that. I was coaching through dance.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a dance lesson. So I knew, okay, maybe I have to go in this coaching thing, and that's where human design
Mm,
came to me. And I learned it from my friend in New York. She called me and she said, hey, Brina, um, I saw something new, and I am a generator. Maybe you're a generator as well. I think you're a generator. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then I started to go into that, and yeah, made a 1 year class, a 1 year formation for that, and I became a certified human design coach. And now today I work on that soul level as well, as human design coach. And I started finally, after like thinking 6 years of it, I started a podcast, which is like this mindset. So everything, how your brain works, how you can work with your brain, how much choice you have, so you're not always on autopilot, how you can train your brain as well. So those are the 3 levels that I'm working on right now.
And to everyone who's watching us, please check out the description of this video, because this is when you will find the information on how to connect with Sabrina and listen to her podcast and just be part of her amazing world. I absolutely am in awe with your courage to transform things in your life, because yes, it's the transformation, as we said, it's a product or a reflection of the change that you go through. But then that transformation happens because you actually choose to do the work. You choose to look at yourself, and you really continue on this path without giving up. And you know, I've heard about some studies, especially when it comes to dancing, that um, when they put music in those homes, when there are very old people who cannot move anymore, maybe they have some disabilities, when they listen to music, their body, even if it doesn't move physically, their body dances. And that to me uh, sounded like something absolutely incredible. What a true blessing. And this also shows how in this body, we also vibrate with our energy, and that energy in or with the body or around the body vibrates with that music, and it creates that movement and dance. How interesting and beautiful is that? So now, as you embraced this journey of deep personal spiritual healing and growth, and human design in particular, helping people on their journey, how do you know when your body is telling you a full yes? Like when it's yes, or your soul, or both, and your mind as well?
Um, that's right now. So for example, when you sent me an email and you said, "Hey, would you like to come to my episode, to my YouTube channel? We can do an interview and stuff." That was an instant, yeah. So when I start smiling and your body actually, we all know a lot about body language. So your body speaks, and we as a generator, you and I, we speak with the body. So my body is moving forward, which means the energy that is coming to me that I can react on is attracting me. That means I come, like I move forward. I start smiling. Sometimes it's like a little butterflies in my stomach. So I also know, okay, that's it. And it's very fast. If you listen to that intuition, it's super fast. You finish a sentence and the response is bam, there. And the thing is, the funny thing is, like, it takes 2 seconds and then you start to think about it. And that's what we all do, because we were trained to listen to this more than to that. And when you look back to your life and you say, like, okay, when I listened to my gut feeling, I made the right decision. It took me there. It took me to the right person, to the right opportunity, to the right book, to whatever was meant for me, for my path. And when you try to take decisions with your head, usually your head is like in a past, because your head is taking decisions concerning the experiences that you had in the past. So how can your head take a decision for the future if basically he lives in the past?
Mm.
So your intuition, your body is super more faster than your brain. And that's what we have to learn. We have to try to reconnect to our body, because our body wisdom is so huge. Your body is so intelligent, and that's a super vehicle, and we don't really use it.
Mm.
So yeah, that's how a gut feeling works. It's a yeah. It's
Yeah.
like a small child that sees an ice cream. When you ask a small kid, you say, "Do you want an ice cream?" Yeah, that's a hell yes.
Yeah, yeah, especially with the weather now being so much nicer, I can definitely picture that, you know, because, you know, what kid would say no to an ice cream? Absolutely. I love that. And yes, it's very important to listen to our body. And when you think about it, such a huge percentage of our body is water. And oh,
Mhm.
wow, we hold so much information, wisdom, and if we can only listen and allow for this water to flow and purify and allow for it to purify, because otherwise it creates a lot of blockages in our body, and then it comes through as a migraine or whatever, and then we think that we just need to put a lot of stuff in our body to heal that, but actually maybe, and yes, in some cases we must do that and check with the doctor. That's not about those cases, but sometimes if it's something that lasts for a little bit and is just giving you a sign, it's maybe asking you to look within and really go much deeper, and it's so important to listen to these signs. So now, as you've been through all of these different experiences, and I love that you continue to embrace this path of, you know what, I'm just going to listen to my intuition, and I'm going to continue to be of service to the world no matter what. How did you learn through these experiences to hold space for yourself when there is uncertainty, challenges, obstacles? What do you do for yourself to hold that space?
I realized that I need a lot of alone time, which is really important for me because I am a very social person. As we said, and as you just mentioned, I love to serve people. I love to help. I love to support. That's really something I love to do however I can. But this means also that you attract automatically a lot of people who need help, which means you have to be very aware about your no, about your limits, about your boundaries. And for a very long time, I was not listening to my boundaries. Not on a physical way, which led to my accident. I know that today I was not listening to my body. I did that mistake. And I'm not really happy about that. And I have to say, like, why I let it like go that far, and I was not listening to my body. So I really sometimes I'm sad about that, but about that fact. But let's say I did that mistake, I learned from it, and today I really try to listen more and more my body, and the only thing that helps me to like balance my energy again and also charge my batteries to be able to serve again is like alone time. It's in nature, it's meditation, it's reading a book, it's dancing on my own in
Mhm.
my living room or just listening to music. So I really need time alone to recharge, to be able to serve again, because I learned that you cannot pour from an empty cup.
Mhm.
I'm not able to give if I am myself half empty,
Mhm.
however you see it. So yeah, alone time is really necessary for me, and there actually human design helped me a lot to understand that the things that I intuitively feel are right, and that I don't have to listen too much to the outside noise, like even family members or a partner or a friend. They have their own way to deal with challenges. And so you cannot take over and say, look, I do that, maybe that helps you. Mm-mm. The answers are here. The answers are inside of yourself. And human design helped me a lot to understand that what I feel is right for me.
Mhm.
I can really trust that, and that I can trust that the things that are for me will not miss me. So I'm not missing out on anything if I just am alone at home and I stay alone and I have my alone time. I'm not missing nothing, because this is a absolutely necessary break for me in order to go out again, to share, to do my podcast, to do whatever I do. I need that time alone. Yeah.
Mm. Wow. And especially through COVID years and stuff like that, we really learned so much about what it means to actually become more than comfortable, like to actually acknowledge the fact that we need that time to spend with ourselves. And thank you so much for sharing that. To everyone who's watching, please remember to check out the description so that you know how to connect with Sabrina and just with her amazing, beautiful world. You see her energy and you know that she is of service with from her heart. And I know that because I've known her for years and I know how much passion she puts into everything that she does. So now, as we're wrapping up this episode, if you were to share a message with a past version of yourself, that maybe someone who's listening needs to hear that too, what would that message be?
There are two things coming to my mind. First of all, it's really go your own way. Only you are able to know which way is good for you, because we are so unique and we all have our very unique purpose here. Just don't get too much of that outside no. Stay with you, stay focused on yourself, stay focused on your needs and this authenticity that we are missing sometimes today, because everyone wants to be that way or wants to show this or that or wear those sneakers or whatever. That's something I tried also always to learn, or to teach to my students, is just be you. Be you, because everyone else is taken. The world needs you because of you, with your purpose, with your potential, with your talents, with your skills. No one can replace you. So that's the superpower that you have. Just be you. So this is one thing, and the second thing is just not give up. Not give up, even if there are challenging times, but trust the process. Universe, God, whatever you would like to name it, is always working for you and never against you. It's always, there is a lesson in it. There is a, we call it, my friend and I, we call it often, there is still a gift somewhere. We just have to find it. In that situation, there is a gift. So even if you have troubles at work, whatever it is, there is somewhere a gift. Just try to find that gift and take it from there to the next step. So really this trust that things are happening for you and not to you or against you. I think those two messages I would like to share.
Thank you. These are very precious messages, and I'm sure that our viewers will resonate with them. Thank you so much to everyone who's watched this episode. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe, like this video, let us know your thoughts, and I can't wait to see you again next time. Take care. Bye-bye.